I just bought my first Patek Philippe. I remember the very first time I heard of the brand Patek Philippe, and it was actually on YouTube. I'm a huge John Mayer fan, and I was watching John Mayer talking watches on Hodinkee. The very first video they launched together, it was about 10 years ago. And I didn't actually buy my first luxury watch until many years later in 2018 when I bought my first Rolex Submariner when I hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So that video, Talking Watches with John Mayer, was really a gateway into luxury watches for me. And after buying that Rolex Submariner, I started building a little collection. Now, I still wear it pretty much every watch all the time. I wore the Rolex yesterday, actually, when I went out for lunch, and I still love that watch. But this watch is very, very special to me. This is my first ever Patek. This is something that I've always looked up to, that honestly, when I watched that video with John Mayer, I never even thought that I'd be able to afford anything like this during my life. And I've always loved watches ever since I was a kid, but after that first Rolex purchase, I started building an actual luxury collection of watches. And you've seen some of those watches here on YouTube. I've posted about them. I post myself wearing them all the time on Instagram or TikTok. But this is the big boy. This is definitely my biggest purchase when it comes to watches, and I'm so excited to bring this home with me. And immediately when I got this watch, I was like, this box is massive. It's just beautiful. It's so much bigger and heavier than anything that I have here at home. And just the level of quality that you get from this Patek box is just insane. It's so heavy, it's so beautiful. I'll show you what the actual box looks like here, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. I mean, it's just fantastic. Look at that. It's like a treasure chest. Like, you open this and you expect there to be gold bars and just light up your face, you know, with just treasure inside of this. And honestly, that's kind of what's gonna happen, right? Because as soon as we open this, we get to see what's actually inside, and it's basically treasure. I mean, look at that. This is the Patek Philippe Aquanaut 5167R. This is a watch that I've had my eyes on for a very long time. You have to pinch me. I can't even believe that this is now a part of my collection. The sizing for me is perfect. It's 40 millimeters. I absolutely love the brown. I never thought I'd be getting a brown Patek Philippe Aquanaut. It didn't cross my mind up until I saw this watch. And I just thought, I absolutely love the chocolate brown. I love chocolate. I like earth tones. This is the perfect watch for me. And it's a classy and sporty watch. How is that even possible? How can something be classy and sporty at the same time? Well, it's classy because it's not a big watch. It's not clunky, right? It's not this massive watch. It actually sits very nice and flat on my wrist. And it's of course sporty because of that playful brown rubber bracelet. They don't call it rubber, but it's rubber. I love this watch. I'm so happy with this purchase. The only thing about this watch is I'm not gonna wear it all the time, just because I don't think it's one of those watches that you wear all the time, but I want to. And it's just a dream. It's a dream to be able to have this in my collection. All right, let me take off the tank here so you guys can see what it looks like on my wrist. I mean, look at that. Absolutely stunning. I love the clasp here. The double butterfly clasp just opens up so cleanly. Absolutely stunning. I'll let you into a little secret. Sometimes when I'm working, I would literally just place it down on my mouse pad while I'm working so I can be on my computer, and I'll just look down and just see that movement. I mean, it's just so inspiring to me. It's so exciting to me. Absolutely beautiful, classy. I'm in love with this watch. And when you put it on, it's actually a little bit big on me. I have to resize it just one more time. I was scared of cutting it too tight because you actually have to cut the bracelet for it to fit you perfectly. So we cut it and it looks okay, right? But it slides a little bit too much. I don't like all that movement on my watches. I like them to be a little bit more snug right after my wrist bone here so that it stays pretty secure. I don't like to feel it sliding up and down my wrist. But the bracelet is so comfortable. This might be one of my most comfortable watches. It's this one, or I would say maybe the Omega No Time to Die is up there too because it's such a light watch and I love that bracelet. Very different watches. But this one is incredibly comfortable. And I love just that logo there on the clasp. I wore it to the Hamptons for my birthday last week, so you're gonna see some scratches there, which I knew that was gonna happen, right? It's just a normal thing when you actually wear your watches, and I wear my watches. So if you see some scratches, I didn't just open this watch. I bought it brand new, and I opened it about 2 weeks ago, and I've been wearing it since. The chocolate brown dial, to me, is an insanely beautiful dial. It's very simple, but also I love the color. Like I said, I never thought I'd get a brown dial type of watch, but this just fits in so well. Over the past few years, I found myself going from black and gray colors in my wardrobe to earth tones, more browns and tans and greens even, and this is kind of a representation of that to me, of that advancement. As you guys know, I'm colorblind. So for me, it's pretty difficult to style colors, especially anything that's really bright. Not to say that this is bright, but I always kind of felt insecure or kind of put into this one box when I'm styling myself, because I wanted to make sure that obviously that I look good and that everything matches. So even making that jump from like monochromatic looks to something a little bit more colorful or earth tones has been a pretty big jump for me. And this is a perfect embodiment of that. I love the rose gold. It's something that, again, I never really thought that I would like. I've always been kind of against rose gold and just like yellow gold. But this rose gold is classy. It looks amazing. With the white, rose gold, and brown, it just makes a beautiful, beautiful combination for this watch. Let's talk about price. I know you guys want to know. This watch retails for $46,000. However, good luck trying to get this watch at retail. It's basically impossible, right? The waiting list for this thing is insane. You're gonna have to spend a lot of money on Patek watches for you to be able to even be offered a watch like this. And if you're trying to get it in the aftermarket, you're looking at about $80,000. So it's definitely a man's watch in the way that it looks and in the pricing. It's not a boy's watch. This is something that really, to me, represents me, you know, in my late 30s now. I'm 36, man. Kind of crazy to say, right? I'm getting close to my 40s. I feel old. I feel so old. But you know what? It looks good. It looks good. It matches my age, and it matches where I am in my life right now. I feel like a man now. My dad had me at 33, so I'm 3 years behind on having kids. That's next for me for sure. That's what I want. But before the kids, I felt like this was a good place to start. This is my child. This is my baby for now. And actually at some point I would love to pass this down to one of my children. So that would be a really special moment for me. One of the things that I want to talk about with this watch is the wrist presence, because it's not a super flashy watch. Obviously, if you know, you know. You can see this coming a mile away if you're a watch guy. Last week I wore this to a dinner party, and I was talking to this high up executive guy here in New York City, and I could see his eyes just gazing up and down and just looking at the watch as I was talking. And I wasn't, you know, trying to show it off. I just had it. Normally I was just talking to him and I could see he was looking at it. And it's one of those things that it definitely commands attention. It definitely has that wrist presence. And it's something that I talked about with Kevin O'Leary when we shot the watch shopping video that just came out a couple of weeks ago. So if you've missed that video, you definitely should watch it, because we talk about some really incredible watches throughout that video. So if you're a watch guy, if you're watching this, definitely watch that video. Kevin O'Leary said it's all about wrist presence. It's all about, you know, you extend your hand, you're looking at someone and you see their watch. And if you're a watch guy, you understand, you know, you connect on a deeper level. And that's how Kevin and I connected. We were both at a wedding in Egypt. He was wearing both of his watches, as he usually does. And I went up to him and started talking to him about watches. And we created a friendship because of that. And because of watches now, we created this video that we shot together and posted here for you guys on YouTube. Something really cool that came with the watch that I got when I purchased the watch was this case. And this is a case for one watch for the Patek. It's a beautiful case. I love the leather. And when you open it, it just has that same high quality that you would expect on a Patek watch. You get it on this case. I wish you could smell this. It smells luxurious. It smells amazing. I have some cases for watches, but typically I have cases for 2 or 3 watches. So this is a case that I can just bring this one bad boy whenever I travel with it and keep it safe. So thank you, Patek, for hooking me up with this absolutely beautiful case that I'll be using when I travel. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button below and hit the like below. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for supporting me over the years. It really means the world to me. I'll see you in the next video.